Now the project was very simple. So we have the employee registration app, but there was a scenario like HR. This application was going to be used by two people, HR and the employee. So HR can create some create the basic employee data, means he will create the employee. Then employee will log in and he will, what do we say, add his experience and add his bank detail. HR cannot do that. Okay. HR can only create the basic detail. Okay. Once a employee is created, then employee will log in and then he will provide his bank detail and the experiences. Okay. Now, so I think we created the employee, na? Even remember. Yeah, we not running. Here it is breaking. Hmm. Okay, let's try logging. Mail ID was the login and password was mobile number. Hmm. Okay, so just the UI I have created. This is the UI for dashboard. This we have completed new employee. Here we will show the employee list. Then experience. Experience is multiple, so we have a form, and at the bottom we will show the experiences. Then bank detail. Bank detail is single only. We can have only one bank detail. And master data. Master data is like the in employee we get we are showing this department and the designation. Na? So this CRUD also we need to do. So for designation master is the page for that. So here we will show all the department and on click of it we will add the designation. Okay. So now employee list is going to be very normal one, so anyone can take the responsibility. We just have to show the list of data whatever we get from this API. Okay, like Surya or Surya Tej, anyone can take the responsibility of this. Now first I will complete this. If you check the department and the designation at the bottom we have, so we have four APIs for CRUD operation of the department, then we have four APIs for the designation. If you check the objects are very small one, right? It's just a name, and in designation, we just have a department ID and name again. So very small objects are there. So it's not necessary that we should create extra components and handle this. Within one component also we can do. And both of these things are related. See, first you will create the department, and in the department you will create the designation because we have a foreign key of department ID over here. Okay. So this is the UI. Can anyone tell me how UI will means what operation we have to do it over here according to this UI? Just see this UI and let me know what we have to do over here, considering our
First
department and
create
the design.
department.
Yeah, but how UI will flow? What's the flow of the UI? See, this is department and this is designation. Two cards we have. Okay. So how we will do it? There are two ways to do it. Hmm.
First department component or designation component, two different component.
No, no, no. See, na, in the same component, master component, we have two cards. Here, I said here we are going to do the CRUD of department and here we are going to do the CRUD of designation. Hmm. If you check the
So
department, it is very straightforward,
Each,
right?
for each department will have like multiple designations.
Yeah. So department is straightforward. So here we will do the CRUD. Okay. So here, if you can see, we have add button. On click of add, we have to show a text box over here, right? If you click on the if you click on add, a text box should be visible. On click of save, you need to hit this API. So first we will complete the department. Okay. Let's check the UI first now. I just use ChatGPT only to create the UI. So we have button over here. Then this is the for loop. Edit department, update department, department list 0, no department added it. Where is the text box? I removed it or what? Wait. Add, on click of add, where we should show the text box. Okay, so just like this, we will follow. We will have a text box over here in the body. So let's copy this. And card body, we will have the text box. Okay, so what we need to do on click of add, we just have to toggle this. This will be visible, and on click of add, we will just toggle this. So now just to toggle this, what are the various ways by which we can toggle? How we can toggle? On click of it, this text box and the button should be visible. Again, if I click it, it should get hidden. What are the various ways by which we can toggle?
NGF
Again, after
Method,
NGIP,
method,
control flow statement.
yeah, again,
We can create one variable and
Hmm.
we can swap it. That's it.
now,
And it-
now on the
Template
variable,
reference variable.
yeah,
To
now on
hide.
the variable side, we can go with go for a normal variable also, and we can use signal also,
Yes, both.
right? So whenever you are doing the practice, if you have something scenario like this, now try going with signal now. Okay, because signal is like something new, syntax is new, and everything is new. So if you are using it daily, then only you will get more confident. Okay, now, so we need a variable to hide and show. So let's say is new department is equal to signal. What type of data we should store? Boolean or string? Boolean, right?
Boolean.
We just want true or false something. This is how you create a signal. Then you need a method to change the signal value. Toggle department form. So this dot, how do we set the value of signal?
By calling the method.
Which
This in
method?
update or set.
Set.
Why you will use update method? Set
Set
only,
method.
na? We don't want to consider the existing value, no? We just want to change the value, right? Set. What we have to write it over here?
True.
Exclamation is
Exclamation,
new
na?
depart.
Vice versa of this value, na?
Yeah, exclamation this dot then
Right?
yes.
See, whenever you say the toggle, always go for a Boolean value so that you can use not and vice versa value you will get. Okay. Now this function we need to call over here. Okay. And we have this signal. So now this signal, we can use it over here. At the rate if signal as a method. And inside this, we need this form. Okay. We are able to toggle. Now on click of add, we just need to call the API. So this is our object. I'm not creating class interface. Do we have Surya or Nagarjun? Will you able to take the responsibility of creating class and interface? I'm just going with any now. Okay.
Yes.
So department. Yeah. So department object is over here. So this department object I need to bind to my form. So department dot name property. Okay. And here also name property. Now on click of submit, on click of add, we just need a button. And here we will say click on save update department. we are going to have a single button to update and the save. If you see the API, we have two different APIs, post and the put. This is for creating new, this is for updating. Okay, so we are going to have the same button. Let's okay, so function is already there. Now here if you see, again as I said, we are going, if you check the UI, we cannot have two different button. Now why to have a two different button also? Again, and the if and else will be there. So instead of that, we can just have a same button. Just what we need to do, I'm saying I'm going to use the single button for add and the edit. Right? So what we can do, I don't want to use two buttons. Means I don't want to go for creating two button. I just want to use the same button. What else you need to do then?
Save.
See, my question is, we have this single form. I don't want to create one more button here for a update. And again, I will add at the rate if and at the rate else. I just want a single button. So how you will manage?
We can
With
check that
passing
button.
the parameter in the
See, you got the question or no?
no, I didn't got the question.
I'm saying
department
we can have two
ID.
buttons right like this, right? Then you will add at the rate if department ID is equal to 0. So you will show this button, else you will show this button, correct? But I don't want these
Yes.
buttons because whenever you write at the rate if, it is going to take some time to perform that evaluation, correct?
Yes.
So now I'm asking how you will do it.
So pass the value in the save update, and we will do a if check in the function.
You got the object over, right? Here.
Yes.
Why you will pass it again over? This variable is already present in your .ts, correct?
Then we can check over there with the if
Right.
statement.
In the there we will should check it. But let's say in case of edit, your text should be update, na? Let's say I click on
Yes.
edit, your text should be update. So how you will manage that?
With the if statement.
Again, I'm saying I see whenever you are using if, you have to be more careful because it is going to take some time to evaluate that if condition. Okay. So instead of using if statement, how we can make the button title dynamic?
We need
With
create
creating a
flag and-
variable then in the TS.
Why
Yeah.
you will need again variable?
If ID is not exist, so
See,
department
if
ID. is not
department ID is equal to 0 means what
With
we have to
ternary
show
operator,
this.
we can do ternary
Add.
operator.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will show add button, otherwise update button.
Yeah, got it.
Understood? See, whenever you write the if statement, it is going to take some time to evaluate that. Okay. Now, HTTP client. Surya, can you just a reminder, you can remove this also and put it into service, okay? Because this project we have to share with everyone. So just code level management also we need to make it proper. So this .http. So here you can see on save update department, we have a check. If the department ID is 0, we have to create a new department. Otherwise, update API. So this .http .post. Here we will need the URL of our save, subscribe, curly bracket, next. Get familiar with this way also. Okay. So we need the URL. This is our URL. It will go over here. Then we need the object also. So this dot department. Okay. In save, what we need to do? In save success, what we need to do? In save success, what we need to do?
We have to reset the form.
Right? We have to reset the form again.
say that the department is added.
Yes. Save success. Again.
Navigation.
No, we are in the same component, na? Why you need the navigation?
Now we have to show the departments, number of
Right.
list of
So we have
departments.
to again call the get API. Correct or no?
Yeah.
Right? See, whenever you do save, update, and the delete, always make sure you need to call the get API so that latest record should be visible. Okay. So this is the variable which we have. Now we need on init. And on init this dot http dot get from bracket the get method.
Sir, we can make a signal of this form as well, right?
Yes, signal based form is also there. It's not official, but we can write code, custom code to handle that. Okay. That department list. And this function we need to call it over here on the page load also. And same we need to call after save also. Okay. Let's just test it. Save is there.
There is some error. Department.
Why it is giving error? Okay, so see what we did over here. We just created a variable and we directly initialize with empty array. So what's the data type it might have taken?
Any.
No. Did we mention any?
Array. Array of any?
No, no, see na. Never.
Never.
Because you didn't specify any, right?
Okay.
Okay, if you store the directly value, see previously it had the value, right? Like this.
Yeah. What is never then?
Never means
It's a
you
new
created a
thing.
variable, but you didn't specify what properties you have it over there. Now it knows, like it is going to hold the array of this object, correct? So you won't get the error over here. Understood? But when you directly initialize it with empty array, now it doesn't know what it has. So it by default, just like any, we have never. Okay. So that's why whenever you don't know, you have to give any so that it won't break. Okay. Now it is not breaking. Let's check it. Yeah. So we got it, but why data is not available? Department name. Why department name is not visible? Li is there, directly div is there. Li. Let's try department. Why it's not visible?
That's coming from API.
Yeah, that's why so many buttons are there.
Oh, we haven't stored it in the variable.
We stored not department list, and same we are using it over here. See, we got the data. That's why so many buttons are there. I'm saying why it is not printed over here. Wait, we have console. See, we have some console error. Now, when do we get this kind of error? Cannot read properties of null or undefined. When do we get this kind of error? When we work on the project, so many times we get it.
When the template is rendered, but the properties, but the object is not ready.
No.
We're trying
And
to access the null value, that's why.
see, read the error. Cannot read properties of null. Reading name means in your template, wherever you are reading dot name, before dot, whatever you have, that is null. Let's say you have a variable that is null. Can you use dot operator on that?
No.
Okay, that is this error. On which number we are getting? Line number 50. Okay, if you click on it, see, over here it is breaking. Line number 50. So this select department might be null. Okay, so now how do we handle this then?
Need to add question marks. Sir.
Question mark. Okay,
Null operator.
so what when we add a question mark, what do we call this? What's the technical term for this?
Chaining.
Optional. Default.
No,
Nullable.
null cohesing. Null
Null.
cohesing or optional checking. The more that's the technical jargon, null cohesing. The right word will be like, for just to understand, null check or optional checking. So that if this variable is not null or not undefined, then only it will execute the further code. Okay. See, now we are able to see. Understood?
So from where that selected department is coming?
We will go through that. Okay. That is just a ChatGPT code we have got. Okay. Now, so see the UI now. Yesterday only I had a defect regarding this. I have fixed in my in my project. We have to show the document. A page was there just to upload some document, and when we upload the document from API, we get the file name which we send. It will create some another file name also. Okay, so we used to get that. Now this is breaking my UI. How do we fix this? See, it's breaking your UI. How do I fix this?
With the call. With the row call.
Still your text, you have this much width only, right? With row call, how you are going to fix it? How do you fix this? Your UI should not break.
Wrap.
So with the help of ellipse.
Right? Ellipse. What is the spelling? Ellipses in CSS. No. Cascading style shape. No. What's the spelling? What's the spelling of ellipses? Like this, na? But we don't want to show whole text. How do we do the ellipse? Or we can, instead of showing whole text, what we can do, we will show the limited number of character, and on that title property, we will, as a tooltip, we will show the whole text. Correct?
Yes.
So which pipe we have to use if we have to show the limited number of characters?
Slice.
Slice. Okay. Slice. Let's say 0 to, let's say 20 characters. Okay. And but we need to show the, wait, something wrong. I think colon.
0 colon.
Yeah. And whole department name also we need to show. So I will use title property over here. And here I will pass the department name. Okay. Now user can see the UI is not also breaking, and he can see the whole thing. Okay. So we have done this. Now just like that, on click of edit, you will get the object and you will assign it to your object. The form will be visible. So on click of this, you will pass the object. On click of edit department, you got the object. That object you are assigning to your department, but we need to toggle our form also, right? Where is the method? This is the method. No. Where is the method to toggle? Yeah, toggle form. So on click of edit, again we need to toggle our form. So once we assign it, again we will call this same function. Okay. See, wherever I'm doing the toggle. But see, whenever I'm doing the edit, it's open. On click of edit, again it is getting closed. So this is the defect, right? Understood? On
Yes.
click of edit, first time it is behaving perfect. But if I click on the second edit, we have called this function, and this function is what it is doing. It's just toggling, right? So instead of this function, what we need to do? Here, what we need to do? How do you handle this now? How do you handle this?
If it is edit,
Hmm.
Can you repeat your question?
It should be always open, na? We should not close it, right? We should not hide it. On click of edit. Correct or no?
yes.
Okay.
Department ID we can use.
Yeah, so that condition we need to write. So the condition will be if the department ID is not equal to 0, means we are in the update mode,
Correct.
correct?
Article yeah.
So if this dot department, because the add flow should work like that only, na?
Correct.
Department ID equal to not equal to 0, then what we need to do? We just need to open it one time only.
Yeah, correct.
No, again, like manually we have to trigger the value. Will it be sufficient? Or do we need to do anything else? We have written this not equal to 0, right? Whenever you click on edit, every time it is going to go into the if condition. Already value is true. So do we need to run this every time? Or just the first time we need to render? Is this code on click of edit every time we need to render, or just the first time?
First time.
So what else we need to add? Now what will happen on every button, on every edit, this whole if block is going to execute. On click of edit, obviously department ID is not equal to 0 because here only we are adding. But this code, every time it will execute. And every time it is going to set the same value. So this is going to execute unnecessary.
We need to update the value.
No.
We can use unconditioned and check is new department.
One more
is-
condition we need to add. What will that other condition? When we need to run this code? If it is false
When
only,
this department
False.
is already
Yes,
false.
right?
False.
That's it.
Hmm.
Okay. Now this code will run for the first time if it is hidden false. Okay. Now again, if I click on add, that will behave the same how it is. But on click of add, see the form we are not resetting. So let's reset the form also over here. Okay. Now this should handle our scenario also. See. Okay. Now, so the remaining CRUD operation, it's just post operation. Okay. Now on click of edit, see update button is also visible. On click of update, we already have the else statement. This is just if statement for save, and here just like this API call will be for the update. Okay. Now in the designation, if you say the designation object, we have department ID as a foreign key over here. Designation ID is a primary key. We don't want to worry about that 0 only. But we will have department ID and the name of the department, the designation. Now tell me, if you see the UI, what do we have? Just a single text box for the designation and on click of add button. Now from where you will get the department ID, like for which department you are creating the designation. Because if you see the object, we need to pass the department ID, correct? Tell me, who can think? From where you will get the department? Because when we click on add, obviously we need to set the whole object. Department name you got because here you have the text box. But department ID, how you will get it?
First, we have to call the API and show into the drop down.
which API get department. This data we already have it over here, right? See, department data we already have it over here. So this data we can show it over here in the drop down.
Yeah.
Everyone getting? See, this is really project type scenario. So you have to think. We create application for the user, right? How you have the department over here, you have the designation form over here. While creating designation, you need the department ID also, right? You got the department array already over here. So what you can do here, you can have the department drop down. You select the department and your designation. Then you can both. You will get the department ID also and the designation. Is there any another way to do this? Try to think. You want to make UI more interactive. What else we can do? How you will get the department ID? See, here you are showing all the department.
Sir, can
Let's
we
say
search unselected?
Yeah, see, if I click on it, I can select this department. If I click on any record over here, I will be able to select this department, na? And then here I can save the requirement. On click of add, I will get the selected department and the designation. Then I will get the both the things. Now got it. I need the department ID, right? For the designation, whatever I'm creating, it belongs to which department. So we have the department array already over here. So I can click on it so that I will add some background color to it, making it like selected. And then I will add the designation. And on click of this, I will show that selected particular designation for this department also. Yes or no? That will be more interactive.
Yes.
Okay.
Means
We will complete.
on select of customer and account, it will get added in the text box of add, and on button it will do like this.
Yeah,
If
like
I'm
that
not
you can
wrong.
say. See, on click of it, first we need to select this particular department. Okay. So that's why we have this object selected department. Okay. Now, where is the for loop? Now over here on this li. Okay. So on click of li, you will right click event, because whatever the department we are clicking, we need to store that. On select department. And what we will pass it over here? What we will pass it over here? Whole department object.
Yeah.
Okay. Select department. Sorry, this is the function. Function is already there. Okay. So see what we are doing. On click of this, we are passing the whole department object that we are storing over here. Then we should call the designation for that department also. Okay, let me show you first. So here we need to add a dynamic class. How do you add a dynamic class? What are the various ways by which you can add the dynamic class?
NG class.
NG class.
NG class again.
You can use class and class wrap that
Property binding.
property binding.
Again,
Yes.
there is a third way. So property
NG
binding
style.
only. No, that is style, na? Class dot. Okay. Then let's say bg hyphen success. Okay. Now here we will pass the condition. What will be the condition over here now? We got the selected department over here in this variable. So this dot department ID equal to. What we need to compare over here?
0 or greater than 1.
No, forget about this. Okay. Let's go with NG class. First see over here. Again, we are going with the toggle only. If I click on it, this row should have a background color something. Okay. So how do you do this? I need to make where on whatever the row I select, I need to make it selectable. How do you do that? You have done that task, na?
On click add the
Ah.
background color.
See, if I click on this finance, this should have that background color. If I click on customer, this should have that background color. At a time, only one should get selected, correct?
Yes.
So
By
I'm
passing the index of that object.
Why index? See, what I'm comparing in selected department, we are going to store the selected ID, whole object. You have department ID that you need to match it with the for loop.
Correct.
Understood? Only
Yes.
one record will get true over here, na? Okay,
Mm.
let's see. Something is breaking. Again, it is breaking, saying cannot read properties of null department ID. We just added this code over here, and selected department might be null by default. See, it is null. So how do you handle that now?
I'll check.
Again,
Optional change.
question mark only, na? Okay. Now, if I click on customer service, see,
Mm.
understood. This is logic. We have already done this in JavaScript also. And when we started Angular, the task, same things are there multiple times. Okay. So see, when I click on marketing, designation in marketing is also coming. And on click of it, we need to make one more API call. That is get designation by department ID. Okay. Let's quickly do this API call. Because if you are clicking on the particular department, you need to show the designation of that department only. Okay. Let's create get designation by department. This dot HTTP dot get. Okay. Where is designation list? So this function we need to call it over here, and here we will pass the ID of department ID. That ID we will get it over here. And this ID we will pass it over here as a parameter instead of the static one. Okay. Let's save it and check it. Check the network call. Okay. On the page load, we just have a department API call. Once I click on information and technology, you see we have API call with department ID 8. And in that information and technology, we have this many designation created. Okay. Now, if I click on customer service, see department ID 27, see your designation got changed. Developer doesn't have any designation. See, it's empty. Okay. Understood?
Sir, can you show that on click of that background
Yes.
color change that one more time?
Class dot. This is like a property binding only. Okay. So class dot, this is your class name. On this particular element, you are going to add this class. But if this condition satisfied, means in this selected department, department ID is equal to whatever the for loop, whatever the department it is the same. Then only this class will be added to this particular class list.
Okay.
Just
Got
like ng, see, ng class, how it will be. This condition, you will add it over here. If this condition gets true, you will add this class. Otherwise empty. Understood? But in
Yes.
case of ng class, you need to import it also. Okay. So that's why we use this. Like this, you can add
Here,
multiple things also now.
here we are directly giving class dot
Class.
and the BG
So here,
success. Yeah.
if you, on a particular element, if you have to add multiple classes based on multiple conditions, so this way is more useful now, right? You will have
Yes.
multiple classes with multiple different conditions. Okay. Now, so we got this. On click of it, we are loading the data also. Which department I have selected, that also I'm showing over here. Now on click of add, we need to hit the post API. Where it is? Post API. Let's get the URL first. So this is my URL I need to integrate. On save update department. On save designation. Again, same logic, we have it over here also. Okay. So this dot http dot post API call. This is my URL. Object, we need to pass this dot designation. Okay. Save success and get, we need to call. Where is that? This function again. On click of add, again we need to call the API to show the latest designation. Save designation, this one. And we need to pass the ID also. ID is already there, no? This dot selected department dot department ID. And here instead of designation, we have to assign, we have to, what do we say? Reinitialize designation object. Department ID is there. Designation ID is equal to 0. Okay. Now here you can see on click of save designation, we need that department ID also. So see this dot designation dot department ID, we are extracting the department ID from our selected department. On click of it, on click of department, we are on click of this record, we are storing the whole department object into that variable. So on click of add, we need the department ID, na? So that only we are doing it over here. This dot designation dot department ID is equal to this dot selected department dot department ID. So here, let's add a debugger. Let's say marketing. In marketing, we have this many items. Let's say test marketing. Let's click on add. See now, if you see the designation object, you got the department ID also and the name. So department ID from our selected value we got extracted. Understood? Save success and the latest record also visible. Clear? So this is how we make UI interactive and more user friendly to the user. There is some flaw in this. Okay. On the page load, we are showing the department, right? Here currently designation is empty. What we can do? Can we show all the designation on the page load at least? Yes or no? Shall we show all the designation on the page load? Guys.
By default, yeah, by default we have to show.
Right? Again, it depends what client need. If client said no, on the page load, I should be able to see all the designation, we will show that. But on click of it, again, we will show the respective selected department designation, correct? So on the page load, you can have one more API call and you can bind the data. In the same variable, you will assign it. So all the department will be shown. But on the page load, let's see the API if we are getting the department. In the get all designation API, what do we have? Department ID. Have we got department name over here? See, if you want to show on the page load, let's say you want to show all the designation, you will show the from API what you are getting, just the designation name.
Name.
Department ID is there. Will you show department ID over here? And will it make any sense if we show the department ID 8, 9 something?
No.
Will user
No.
understand that?
No.
No.
So what we need to do? We need to do something, or API person need to do something?
We need to do.
What you will do?
Mm,
Yeah, you can do, means you have all the department over here. You will write
Yeah.
a function to extract the department name, right?
Yeah.
But
correct.
let's say you have 50 designation. So 50 time you will
Okay.
extract the value. That's not good, na?
Yes.
So this data should come from the API only. So here we have to talk to the API person saying you are sending the department ID. We need the department name also because we need to render it here.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
We should not do everything because here if you write, you will first iterate the array, then you will find the record by using find or filter, and then you will assign. That is going to take some time. Correct?
Yes.
So this data should come from the API only. So we have to tell the API team like send the department name also. So whenever see this type of things get asked in the interview, like how we have UI team, we have API team, right? So we need to communicate. When requirement gathering is there, sprint planning is there, we have to specify like we might be needing, because you are going to deploy, we are going to design this. You know the UI. They don't know the UI, right? From their perspective, it's a single department ID, na? So they will send this only. But you know the UI that you have to show the department name also over here on the page load. So you have to explain like we will be needing the department name also in the designation API. Then they will do it. Otherwise, they will just provide the normal way. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So like this, we have to do. Experience is a straightforward.
Hi, sir.
Hmm.
Can you go to the UI once? Sir, if we select, and can you select anyone department? Means initially when we load the page, we are getting no suggestions for. Means it will take some time, right?
No,
Can you
didn't understand. Suggestion mean where you are talking?
can you select means developer HR any department?
Marketing.
Can you reload once page reload?
By default, it is empty.
Empty. Can you select now? Information also. We are getting that no suggestions found, right? Means
Suggestions means what suggestion?
on load, page load.
Suggestion means which?
Initially,
See, initially what we are doing is check the network API call. On the page load, we are just making one API call. That is to load the department. Okay. We got the department, that department is shown over here. Okay. Then once you click on the particular department, then you are making the another API call to get the designation of that department. See, ID 8. And for that department ID 8, we have this many designation. Okay. If I click on finance, see, department ID is 26 for this finance. Again, we have this many designation. And those designation, we are showing it over here. Means for this selected department, we have this many designation created. Got it?
yes, okay.
Understood
Instead
now?
of showing empty, can we show some default value?
Yeah, that's what we discussed now. At the page load, we have to call one more API and we will show all the designation. So that on the page load, all the designation will be visible. Once user click on it, only that particular designation will be visible.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. What were you saying? Yeah, experiences. So experience, where is that? Yeah. So see, for adding new experience, this is the API. Here, what you need, this is the post API, but here you can see we have the parameter also. Can post API have a parameter? See over here. We have a post API. Normally, where do we get to see the parameter? In the update API, right? We have, whenever normally you have the put API call, you have to pass the ID also and the object also. And same ID will be present in the object also and over here also. But put APIs are built like that. Like whatever the record you are updating, you need to send that record in a query parameter also. Okay. Just like that, post API also can have the parameter. Okay. One more question is here. Can we use get API to create new record? Is it possible that we can have a get API to create new record instead of post? Normally, to create new record, we should have a post API, correct?
Yes, sir.
But instead of post, is it possible that we can have a get API also for creating new record?
No, I think so.
It is possible. See, let's consider this department post. Instead of post, you have a get API. Now, within get API, you cannot pass the object, right? What you can pass in get API? How you can pass the data in get API? Parameter only, na? In get API, you cannot pass the object. Clear? Understood or no? In get API, you cannot pass the object. You can just pass the parameter. So it's based on the API developer. Let's say instead of this post, he will create a get method and he will ask you to send the two parameter, department ID and the department name. So it will work, right? Instead of passing the object
Okay,
over
means
here.
we will have.
Yeah. We will have the get and you will have two parameter over here. So your URL will be
send, right?
department question mark, department ID is equal to this and name is equal to that. No, your voice is breaking. Understood, everyone?
Yes.
So it's again totally depend on the API person, how he has created. Okay. We can have anything, but just to follow the standard, whenever you are creating a new record, your API should be the post one. For update, it should be update. For delete, it should be delete. Okay. That is just a standard, but we can do anything. Even for delete also, we can have a get method also and a post method also. What logic you are returning in that method, it can be anything. Okay. So in adding the experience, we have to pass the employee ID, and in the object also, we need to pass the employee ID. Let's say use an employee logged in. Okay. So logged in employee ID, you have got into the local storage. So on click of add experience, you will read that data. You will assign it to the employee ID and then you will make your API call. Once you do after the save, after the add experience. Okay, so we need API to show the experiences. See, one API is there to add the experience, but there is no API to load all the experiences for that particular employee. We need one more API. See, currently there is no API to get the experiences. Only post API is there. Because experiences are multiple, na? So we need one more API. That API is not there currently. I need to create it. Okay, I will create that API. So who can take the responsibility of basic CRUD first? File upload, I will explain tomorrow. But remaining are normal CRUD thing only. Who can take the responsibility? Surya. Who else was there? Nagarjun. Can you take the responsibility of this?
Yes, sir.
Just a CRUD operation, it is there. Okay.
Sir, employee, right? For employee, we need to create, right?
Employee creation we have done.
Okay.
Employee we are able to create. Employee list, you can just integrate the get API and show the data over here. Okay. Bank detail also API. Bank detail is a single only. right? Where it is bank detail, update bank detail. I will provide you the API for getting the bank detail and getting the multiple experiences. That also you can bind.
Okay.
Okay. So like Surya, you can do this, and Nagarjun, you can take the another one. Anyone else want to work? Okay, fine. So tomorrow, just I will explain the file upload, because most of the project has the file upload, and how file upload works in real project. That the same scenario we have it over here also. Okay. So let's connect tomorrow then. Anyone having question?
सर चैट बॉक्स में लिखा है वो सिनेरियो कवर करो प्लीज.
One scenario like one service, do the API call. One component. One service, I do one API call. One component, I subscribe the get API response. Another component is signal. Means you're saying from one component you are going to make one API call. Okay, from your service, and whatever the response you get, that you need to store, and you want to use the same response in another component. Correct?
Yes sir.
So in service, you will, what do we say? Why you will use signal over here? If you want to pass data from one component to another, or from service to another component, what you will use?
Actually, I use behavioral subject, but my team lead suggests me to use the signal.
But in service, you will store the data into signal, right? Let's say you created a signal. In service, you will create the signal. Yes or no?
Yes sir.
Right? Then in your component, signal is just like a state, right? It's like a state. Understood?
Yes.
Now, how do you read that data into another component? How you will trigger it? To trigger, you need the subject, right? Why he said signal?
I have no idea sir. Actually.
Because signal you cannot trigger, na? That is why we have subject.
Yeah.
Try to ask the ChatGPT same. Because link signal and
Okay, sir.
computed is there, but it's like a custom code we'll be writing. We can do with computed also, because if one signal value get changed, we can update some another signal value. That computed we can do, but it's like custom kind of code will be there. It will be like by using link signal or computed we can do. Try the ChatGPT first. Okay. I will also create the scenario for this. Okay.
Okay sir. Thank you.
Fine. Okay. Abhishek, are you done with your that preparation? Do you need a mock? Abhishek? Okay. Let's connect tomorrow.